Wales, land of legends, awe-inspiring landscape, and giant veg.
Well, you think you're carrying a body out, when you're carrying a marrow on a stretcher.
Every August, the nation's growers gather to battle it out in the first competition of the season.
35 heaviest marrow.
Got him? Yeah. Thank you.
This is a story of extreme dedication.
I'd rather spend my money on giant veg than the ladies these days.
I nearly cried. Grown man, cry when his marrow splits.
And defying nature to nurture some of the biggest vegetables on the planet.
It's 44 inches.
It's going to be a monster.
We don't get nothing for breaking a world record. We don't even get knighted.
Welcome to the land of the giants. The village of Llanharry, 15 miles west of Cardiff, home to a champion with a big reputation.
I'm thinking about vegetables from the time I wake up till I go to bed. Look at the length in that. 4'6". Could be some marrow.
Philip Vowles has been growing giant veg for over 30 years.
That's the cucumber I broke the world record with. With the giant vegetable shows, the scales is the judge. It's all about the weight. This could be up to around 20 stone. Which is a lot of weight for a vegetable. Come on, my beauty. Come on, marrow. Let's grow a couple more inches today. The wife reckons I talk nicer to my plants than I do to her. I get in big trouble.
But Philip's wife Brenda doesn't quite share his passion.
I am definitely a allotment widow.
It's 12 hours a day, almost every day, unless the wife drags me away to go shopping.
He's up there far too long and then he's absolutely worn out in the night then. Well, he is getting on now a bit, I suppose.
Oh, you cheeky devil. You were older than me.
I don't look at all.
Early April, 4 months to the giant veg competition, and Philip is preparing his seeds for battle.
Very often I'll just file around the outside of the pumpkin seeds because sometimes when they've been standing all winter they get a bit tough. That's the marrow seed, and within 16 to 20 weeks that will turn into a marrow over 100 pound in weight.
But these aren't your run-of-the-mill seeds.
They are giant vegetable seeds, and they've got to be giant vegetable seeds. You won't grow a giant out of a normal seed. I reselect my seed every year from the biggest and the best, and I've had some real good results. I managed to win it last year, but I think this year they're gunning for me this year. I think I got strong competition.
On the outskirts of Newport lives a man who grows on a grand scale.
I can feel the ground is right through the seat of my pants.
This monster plot belongs to Philip's main rival, 74-year-old Ian Neal.
The doctors tell us we're not getting enough exercise. They want to come and join me when I'm doing this. I got to think another way of growing my parsnips and carrots because there's 36 holes like this to be dug.
Ian's site used to be the family garden centre business. But after his parents died, he shut up shop to focus on his giant veg and has broken 7 world records.
The giant veg is on my mind all the time. How can I grow bigger, grow better? I'm planning it all up here. This is what you think about when you're watching the television before you fall asleep in front of it, because there's not a lot on it. Dolphins, carrots, sweet peppers.
Ian is known on the scene for his spectacular shirts.
That's the most famous shirt in the world. That's the one I met Snoop Dogg in. Nice, isn't it?
Yes, you heard correctly. Rap Lothario Snoop Dogg heard about Ian's monster veg and sent a cheeky message to get some growing tips.
What up, though? Shout out to my homeboy Ian Neal in Cardiff for breaking the world's records for the biggest vegetable. Man, I want to tell you something, man. When I do my show in Cardiff, I want you to come backstage and see me, because I do vegetation myself, and I want to know your secret so I can show you my vegetables and see if you can grow that into a real big vegetable.
That Swede there broke the world record, and Snoop Dogg heard about it, and he invited me backstage, and I got a face like that because I knew exactly what he was going to do. He's offered me a weed, and I don't smoke.
By late April, Ian and Phil's marrows are ready to transfer from pot to soil.
Good morning, you lot. You're looking well today.
Both have opted to grow inside in their big polytunnels. But not all competitors have got such huge resources.
We haven't got a water supply here at all. No electric. But we'll manage.
Vegetable-growing giant Vince has an allotment in Barry and is a relative newcomer to the scene.
We started here 4 years ago, and it looked like what you can see over there. Brambles, weeds, rubbish, plenty of wood from work and donations, and we managed to get it looking like this.
But unlike Phil and Ian, without a polytunnel big enough, Vince has to grow his marrows outside.
The only problem is still a touch cold in the night, so hopefully this frame will keep it a little bit warmer in the nights. This one is my own seed this year, it is, from the two best marrows I grew last year, from a 136-pounder and a 122-pounder. So I've crossed the two together now, so hopefully it should be a good plan.
But growing a marrow outside is a high-risk game.
You've got to have good seed, good ground, good weather, good luck. And you need all four.
And things don't always go to plan.
Oh, my best marrow split last year, it did. It split at just under 10 stone, 136 pound. Oh, nearly brought tears my way.
Vince crosses his fingers and puts his marrow to bed. Meanwhile, back in Llanharry, reigning marrow champion Philip had better beware.
We're going to pot some giant cabbage now, Raymond.
His big brothers Bernard and Ray have entered the race.
Raymond's the oldest. Then I'm next, and then Philip is the pup.
They've ordered a special delivery.
It's a cracking load, Ray.
20 tons of prime manure to fuel their giants.
This is where we might have one over on Philip. Myself and Raymond going to be the posh gardeners. Keep our hands in our pockets and let the beast do the job for us.
While the boys continue their gentleman gardening, back in the kitchen, Bernard's wife Beryl is busy keeping them fueled.
I make sure that they're fed and watered. So it's breakfast, levensies and lunch. And then they come in and have a sleep. They're not having a lot today. I've been too busy. Come on, boys. No, look at him sat there now, like Lord of the Manor.
It may be the boys' first time in the competition, but Beryl has full faith.
He intends to beat Philip this time, and he is going to beat him.
You think so?
No.
Oh, my God.
Every year, the giant veg competition is held on the Fonmon estate, ancestral home of Sir Brooke Boothby.
You have to be a bit careful getting around up here because the Normans were a lot smaller than we were, and I think their average knight was only 5'4".
Fonmon Castle has been in Sir Brooke's family for 11 generations. And gardening has always been in his blood.
When I was a child, I was very frightened of the head gardener because he was very fierce and he considered small boys to be a great danger, which he was absolutely correct. We'd steal his peas and things if we possibly could. Josh, could you come and give me a hand? I've got to assemble a mini greenhouse.
All right, sir.
Last year, Sir Brook beat Philip with his pumpkin when Philip's rotted. And he's roped in junior gardener Josh to protect this year's entry.
I'm very poor at DIY altogether. I was very spoilt as a child. You know, we had very competent staff in the garden and therefore didn't really need a lot of family input. Blast. Split the wood. Never mind. Here comes this masterpiece of construction. Like so. To me, half the pleasure of gardening is, in fact, the ability to get out in the sun and do some physical work. I mean, it's very good for me, but I actually enjoy it too. So, whoops, there's one of the fuchsias, which I've now put my foot on. Perhaps you could just splash a bit more water into that, as I think it looks as if he needs it, poor thing.
With the plants safely in the ground, the race is on to grow.
Special brew.
And every contender has their own unique formula.
Bit of pigeon feces.
I've heard somebody giving the pill to a pumpkin.
This is my magic mix. Tea bags going in first. A little bit of molasses afterwards. And I'm not going to tell you what else I put in it. I got to keep one or two little secrets.
But the one thing none of the growers can control is the weather.
There is a risk of more heavy showers and thunderstorms, especially in mid and North Wales, with a Met Office warning in force.
May, and Wales is hit by heavy downpours.
Will spread southeastwards during the day, breezy too and cooler.
About 5 or 6 days we haven't been able to do a thing outside.
But, like an Olympic athlete, whatever the weather, Ian has to keep on top of his game.
All gardeners need a good back to do what they're doing. You're bending down, lifting. My osteopath said, as you get older, you've got to be like a sports person. You need to warm up before you start work. And if I do that every morning, touch wood, my back's all right. I'm planning up here till I'm 80, but I'm asking questions, do I want to carry on? But what am I going to do? Sit in this chair, wait to die? Not likely. So I got to carry on. That's it.
Stretched and ready for action, Ian has to protect his marrow plant from a disease in his soil.
Morning, you lot. God, you're looking well this morning.
He's grafting a plant that he knows is immune to the disease onto his marrow, in a bid to keep it safe.
Because they don't take very good, I make it about 2 inches long. This one, I've gone from the root upwards. This is like a surgery on the plant.
I've never seen sellotape used in surgery before.
Some of these don't take very good because it's wet.
Believe it or not, the new plant will fuse to the marrow and make it resilient to Ian's soil disease.
I think I'm the only one doing this. I'm not going to let my competitors know till the show's on.
Over the next 6 weeks, the plants grow at an alarming rate. Marching on, day and night, until the marrow and pumpkin shoots are up to 20 feet long. But the pumpkins and marrows don't just grow by themselves. They need to be pollinated. And these guys don't leave pollination to nature. Today, Philip is playing the part of a 5'8" bee.
Well, I am doing what a bee does. You know, perhaps I'm interfering with nature. Perhaps I shouldn't do it. There's the female flower. You can see it's the female flower. It's got the fruit behind the flower there. There's the marrow.
Here's a quick lesson on the birds and the bees.
There's the male flower going into the female flower to pollinate it. And that should be plenty good enough there. And that's the pollination done.
Without the pollen from the male flower being deposited in the female flower, the tiny marrow would fail to grow. And Philip is leaving nothing to chance.
I don't want any other bee coming in here now to cross-pollinate it. So what I do, I'll tie that flower up now to stop a bee going in there to cross-pollinate.
With Philip's marrow protected by its chastity belt, the race is on to grow the biggest fruit. The pumpkins and marrows put on an incredible 6 inches of growth a day. But at the end of June, Wales gets hit with a heat wave.
Temperatures once again soaring, very warm or hot, humid too, highs between 25 and 30 Celsius, cooler on some coasts with a breeze.
Over in Newport, the thermometer in Ian's polytunnel has reached astronomical heights.
115.7. No wonder the plants are wilting. They just can't take enough water up to keep them going.
And with just one big, rather oddly shaped marrow, Ian is concerned.
It is worrying because that there could go soft. I had one pear-shaped and the end went soft.
Back in Llanharry, Philip has also been feeling the burn.
So much heat coming off the side of the polytunnel, and he started to cook. I've lost 6 now through the hot weather. You've got to have failures, you can't have all success. But it is disappointing, you know, because it was a good marrow. But look at that inside there. Isn't that a good marrow? But Brenda will make some nice chutney out of that one.
Just make you a sandwich now and make you a cup of tea.
But Brenda has more pressing things on her mind.
I'm just waiting now, waiting on the solicitors to tell us the date, and I'll be happy to go now because it's, you know, so much packing and things to sort out.
After 48 years, they're moving house.
Lovely memories of all the children and all the parties and everything else we've had here. We've had some lovely times here with the family.
Philip has been doing the entire move by hand.
How many trips have I made with this wheelbarrow?
I am counting.
And it's one heck of a journey. All the way to their new house. 3 doors down the same road.
We're moving from number 4 to number 1. Literally, what, 50 yards away? This got to be about the 80th container we brought down. Why? Because it's right by my allotment is number 1. And there's a little bit of ground alongside here, so we're hoping to put a little bungalow alongside the house here, just to retire in. Brenda's going to retire. Philip's not going to retire, but Brenda's going to. The best view is up the back here.
Yes, every day Philip can wake up to a view of his beloved allotment from his bedroom window.
Beautiful. People to say about moving abroad, no thank you. Just give me Llanharry.
How's Phil's marrows doing then? Huh? How big are they?
1 month to the show, and back in Barry, Vince has come up with a novel way to give his cucumbers some added support.
It's a double D cup, it is. I got off my friend's mother, I did. Take the strain off the stalk. My friend's mother would be happy seeing her brat on telly anyway.
Vince may well laugh. While the Polytunnel boys have been suffering with the heat, his 2 marrows have been thriving outside.
This is my pride and joy at the moment, this is. I did get the tape measure on yesterday and worked it out on the chart, and it was £80 yesterday, so it's probably grown a few more pounds since yesterday. Oh, it's motoring, flying it is. Another 2 weeks like that, and it should, well, I reckon by next weekend it should reach £100 by next weekend. No problem.
But growing outside leaves Vince at the mercy of the elements.
I'm just dreading tomorrow. It's going to be a good bit of rain tomorrow, so I just hope they just don't swell too quick tomorrow and end up with a split in them. That's what happened to my best one last year. We had 2 nights of rain and it blew the side out of it.
While Vince's veg have been flying along, things haven't been going so well for gentleman gardeners Bernard and Ray.
Cold drink today because it's hot. And you can have some carrot cake because I've been baking this morning.
Do.
Yes, the boys are well nourished, but the vegetables aren't.
This one, it looks a good one. But I think I'm going to have a chat with Philip. I don't really know whether we ought to leave too many on the one plant. If we could give him a few pints this afternoon now, he might, we might get it out of him, like.
Filippo!
Hello. You're giving me a lift for this cabbage, you?
Well...
Before they go for a pint, the brothers need to pick up their cash.
Whoa!
When I say cash, I really mean the green stuff.
Some boots.
Not bad, are they? Do you want to step in on the roots of my marrow?
Well, we wouldn't do a thing like that.
You would.
No.
Just for spite, you would.
No, we wouldn't.
Philip often supplies the local pub with giant veg. One of his cabbages will make 100 Sunday lunches.
Wow. One nice cabbage for you?
Oh, that is brilliant.
You are.
So do we need to reward you or anything?
A few drinks would be nice. Yes, sir.
While the boys relax,
Good.
Yes.
Cheers, Philip.
Cheers, Ray.
it's a busy evening for Sir Brooke Boothby.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. As you can gather with me arriving, I'm going to part you from a little money.
Sir Brooke is hosting one of his many charity garden parties.
1 marrow, which is 2 inches long.
But, as ever, his vegetables are never far from his mind.
I have magic up my sleeve.
And when the revellers have gone home, they leave Sir Brooke with the perfect leftovers to feed his pumpkins.
We have tried other things, lemonade and other such things, but they don't seem to work as well as the beer. I'm not entirely sure why, but they don't.
Philip better beware. The beer seems to be working wonders.
Well, this one is coming along pretty well. It'll grow a good bit bigger by the time we get to the show, and it's beginning to turn into that nice golden colour, so we're reasonably happy. A lot of people seem to thrive perfectly well without alcohol, but these don't.
2 weeks before the show, and Vince has had a disaster.
Split right round and this way as well. I haven't seen them split that way before. Gone to bits it have. 36 days of growing, and it's split two weeks before the show, and it's gone and split again.
The rain that Vince predicted has come moving in, forcing his 2 marrows to suck up too much water and split.
It's no good for the show now. Once the air gets inside, it'll just start to decay and rot away. Well, got it again. Huh? It's like someone chopping your right arm off. Huh?
Still, Vince can't resist finding out what this monster weighs.
55 kilos. That's 121 pound. May have had another week or 2 growth left in it, yeah? 4 months' work, gone. Gutted.
It's the end of the road for Vince's marrow dreams. It's competition day. Time for Philip to cut the umbilical cord on his giant babies and move them to the show. Or at least, try to.
Well, when you're talking, a 200-pound stone-dead pumpkin, it's pretty difficult. 1, 2, 3, that's it. And me and my brothers are all getting on a bit now, and we just struggle a bit.
Meanwhile, in Newport, Ian has to rely on the power of one.
Do you know I stopped growing pumpkins because they're too heavy, and these are getting too heavy. Or I'm getting too old.
But his soil has been harbouring some monsters.
That's a good one.
Including his giant Swede.
Oh, he's a winner. Yes, he's a winner. Good luck, you two.
Welcome to the Vale Glamorgan Show. We have a great display of giant vegetables.
At the Vale Show in the grounds of Fonmont Castle, the competitors gather to battle it out in 13 classes of giant veg.
You go to any show and you won't see a lot better.
And as competition chairman, Philip oversees the weigh-in.
You can't mess about too much. It's got to be one process. Through the door, on the scales, onto the table.
The heaviest vegetable in each class wins. And it's time for the pumpkins to be weighed in. Sir Brooke's first effort only comes in at 51 kilos. But he has a trick up his sleeve with his second entry.
43.
Excuse me. Objection.
Sir Brooke has loaded his blanket with weights. And the pumpkin is rather light.
I was a bit short of a good one, so I hired one from a props department.
Are we going to disqualify you?
Definitely.
He's out.
But the competition is about to get serious.
Morning.
Giant grower Tim Saint has travelled from England with a beast. That's an unbelievable 18 stone of pure pumpkin. Will Philip's pumpkin be heavier? The scales say no. But he's gracious in defeat. Now all Philip's hopes lie with the most fiercely fought class, the marrow. And he's got a yellow whopper that he's hoping will weigh 50 kilograms.
He's not as big as I thought, not as heavy as I thought anyway. God! Could have been another 20 pound.
Shock for Philip.
That's disappointing.
It's just over 39 kilos.
I thought he would have been heavier. Oh, there we are. He is what he is.
His stumpy green marrow turns out to be a few kilos heavier. But will it be enough for Philip to retain his marrow crown? Can he beat his brothers and Ian? It's crunch time for Philip's veg.
First prize for the marrows goes to Philip Fowles.
Because I've won it the last couple of years, they called me the Marrow Champion, and I'm still the Marrow Champion.
Another first prize we have is going to Vince.
Despite his marrows having bust, Vince went on to get 5 class wins, partly due to his friend's mum's bra.
Supported it well, the old double D cup. Lovely.
And Ian had 2 first places.
I got first in my suite, but I only come third in the marrow. And I got first in the carrot, so we haven't done too bad.
But the king of the marrows is Philip Fowles.
To win the Marrow, I'm so pleased. Excellent.
Yay!
Down the road there lives a man I'd like you all to know. He grew a great big marrow for the local flower show. When the story got around, they came from far and wide. And when the people saw the marrow, everybody cried, "Oh!"